What's happening, guys? Chris VA Travels. Shout out here to Port Royal, Virginia, little town off the Rappahannock, probably right in between Fredericksburg and Tappahannock. And I was out here last year. I did a walking tour, and I remember walking by this Port Royal Museum of Medicine. I wanted to come back and check it out, and I actually just took the tour with a real nice lady from over the History Museum. Really in-depth tour. I'll just play the footage of her showing everything off. And real quick, I'll tell you, this place was built 1851 by a guy named Dr. James Gravitt. And it was originally 2 blocks down off Water Street, a little closer to the Rappahannock Rivers, right on the other side of those trees. And it was a doctor's office until 1981. So, good 130-year span. And yeah, neat note about this place. Dr. Gravitt practiced medicine here, and he's the one who pronounced John Wilkes Booth dead down at the Garrett Farm, about 2 miles south of here. And yeah, just a small little 2-room building. And let you know, it's a free tour. What you'll want to do is visit the History Museum, which is Route 301 is right there. You see that truck driving. Just go in and tell them that you'd like to take a tour. So, yeah, real quick, I'll just show off the back of this place. Nothing too special, but yeah, I like showing off little museums like this that are out of the way. Give them a little bit of attention. So, all right, I'll go ahead and play the footage.
Now, this is the real medical part, because if you were sick, you came in here and there was a cot here, and you would sit down here, and the doctor he had a desk over in that corner, and this is where Dr. Harris would see you. Now, if you look over here, you'll notice that we had an undertaker also. This is Dr. Roach. His home is still here, back on one of these side streets, and it's been restored. It's small, but where they used to keep the caskets out back is gone. And you'll notice it says full line of caskets and coffin, always on hand, open day and night. Yeah. So we found that. We just happened to find that in the attic of another building. That's where we got that little poster. Now, this again shows you pretty much how it should have looked and how it ended up looking, and how we were able to move it. And this is actually the back view here. That also was a back view, and it was well known. In fact, this book, Shadows in Silver, talks about the columns and how beautiful they were here in Port Royal. These are the doctors of Port Royal, not all in this building, but there were quite a few. You see, back to the 1600s, Dr. McCoo is one of the first. And then right on up here, Dr. Holloway in the 1900s. He is a doctor who delivered my mother, Dr. Holloway. And over there, that's Dr. Holloway's chest when he went to World War I. And his helmet is there also. So we have, and the Holloway coat of arms is there as well. So we have real ties to the Holloway family. Dr. Rogers Newton Harris is what I call my doctor, Dr. Harris. And he graduated from Medical College in Virginia. And these are some of his other house surgeons, St. Luke's Hospital, and award to Congress of the United States for service. This is particular, is a copy of 1966, just one of his typical bills. Office visit, $10. Medicine, $10. And this is people at Camden, the Pratts gave them. In here, we have a lot of his books. This one is the one that is most of his people only paid $6 or $8, 10. There's 122, that's the biggest one I think I've seen. But you can find local people's names in here, and I guess this was one of his later ones. I'm not sure the year on some of these pages, but samples that give you some idea. They didn't cost very much to go to the doctor or get your medicine in those days. Now, this is the most unique thing because a lot of people come in here and they still have their tonsils. If you went to Dr. Harris and wanted to get your tonsils out, it's just a clip and it's done.
Okay.
So, other things, this is a write-up. Now, this is the history of Dr. Harris, and it's an obituary. So I keep that for people who really want to look into who he was. He and his wife never had any children, so there are no descendants here. He was born out in an area not far from Sparta called Nolaka that A.P. Hill ended up taking as a part of that. This particular picture is some of the doctor's things, and Nancy Long today is our supervisor, and she lives here. This is what the doctor's front door used to look like, and she, at the sale, bought a few things, and they had the doctor's bag, which I think they gave to another museum before we had this. Some of the kinds of bottles. Now, I'm not sure these were actually found here, but they were found in Port Royal. And this is a doctor. His name used to be here. He was not actually, I don't think he was a medical doctor. I think he was a PhD doctor. But these are others that have been donated to us. Things like this 40% alcohol plus 3 grams of opium. It didn't cure you, but you didn't care. Little things that we found that sort of went with the period. I don't know if this will give you a little better light on that. Now, Herb Collins, our benefactor, had this cabinet because his family had a store, and he said they often kept medicine in the store, or they could order it for the doctor who might keep it too. And it did revolve. This is, that's Dr. Holloway's helmet, and that's his dress hat there that we have. And then we had a Dr. Urquhart here in Port Royal, and he lived down by the river. Now, his house was burned, but he is the doctor that went when Booth was injured and they called for a doctor to come. And other things on this table that people have donated to us, a few medical books. Some of the jars actually have medicine in it. Other things, we're not too sure about using crutches like that. But again, we have advertisements for cocaine toothache drops and things like that. This looks like a hospital gown, and we found that in the attic of the print shop next door. It had another piece with it, but the other piece was chewed by mice, and this one we were able to save because there's beautiful work on it. This is called a butler's desk. The butler would come in and get his directions to give to the maid or to the kitchen people or whatever, and work it all out. Or the lady of the house might use it to leave things for the butler. And in here, I don't mind opening it for you because you're very interested, but this is a book, medical textbook, and it has Schumansville, Caroline County written in it. Charles Wright. I don't know if he ever became a doctor or not. Yeah.
Confederate money?
I'll tell you the truth, I've never noticed this in here. But that is Richmond.
Yeah, it says the Confederacy, right? I think.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure if it's Jeff Davis.
It sure looks like it, yes. Let's see what this one is. $20. Oh, I'm pretty sure if it came, all of this came, the books and everything came from Herb Collins together. The Progress and Error Tabletop. I don't know, but this is medicine, and this particular one I know is medicine of Virginia in the 18th century. And he told me several of them were in French, but I see a New Testament thing there too. Shakespeare. So these are right out of his mother's parlor, really. Now Herb has a lovely old home that's historic, but he lives in another house on the same place, which was a farmhouse, but he keeps his mother's house like a museum. This was Dr. Harris's waiting room, and his wife had chairs all around, and at the top there were shelves, and he kept these tall pill bottles filled up. So if he gave you certain medicine, he'd come in here and get the bottle and pour it in a little something and give it to you. And you didn't go to the drugstore.
Oh yeah, it all one-stop shop.
This one, John Bernard Lightfoot, came to me from Williamsburg. He is a man who lived here in Port Royal, and this is his lifespan, 51 to 1923. I forgot McCaskey. And what you do is if you go in every year or every week or two, and they would fill out, this is Louise Bluefield, and you charge it and pay it at the end of the week, end of the year, month, I guess. And so this is right out of one of the stores, and it was given to us by a relative who found it. And this is another thing that was given to us, is they call it a till box. And it was an early way of keeping track of your sales and keeping your money. Hatton Till Box Company, you might want to take a look at that. This is a lovely picture of Jane Gay Robinson, who married Bernard over there. And he named the place Gaymont after her. But the original name was Rose Hill, which the current owner has gone back to. But they were married in the 1800s, and for many years it was called Gaymont. We used to have a book, the story of Gaymont, but we have sold every one of them. But during the war, the Bernard daughters lived there, and they entertained the soldiers and people like, I don't know that Robert E. Lee was there, but a lot of dignitaries coming through would stop and have dinner at Gaymont. So, and they would have been her daughters. That's another of the daughters. This is the mother, and that's the daughter. So as we go around, these three came from Gaymont's attic also, and we've never been able to figure out exactly who they are. They go back to the English ancestors. So, this is Reverend Boucher. He was one of the first ministers in this early area of the Episcopal Church. And he also went up to Fredericksburg, up and down 17, out in AP Hill, and very well known, except when we decided to leave England and become independent, he decided to go back to England. That's the only thing I've got against him.
Right, traitor.
He was truly loyal, you know.
All right, that's it for the Port Royal Museum of Medicine, and yeah, neat place to check out if you're ever driving through the area. As always, like and subscribe, and see ya.